Thank you for the kind words, Mike. Bigger Mike saw you first comment before we went live. There's no standing up tonight. I'm not going to demand that you guys stand up. I'm not going to nothing positive from tonight. I think this is more of a stream where we just sit and sulk and get it all out. I'll be live for about an hour. I got work early tomorrow. That's just a sickening loss. It's a numbing defeat. You spend all offseason convincing yourself as a fan that you closed the gap or you started to close the gap. I didn't necessarily know if we closed the gap on the Dallas Cowboys. I didn't think we closed the gap yet on the Dallas Cowboys, but I thought we were closer, and I did think we were going to win this game. I did convince myself of that. We have not closed the gap. That's that's my assessment from tonight. We'll start with that. We have not closed the gap. The gap has gotten larger. And I'll start by saying congratulations to the Cowboys fans. I went into this game confident, cocky, arrogant. So congratulations to the Cowboys fans. You guys continue to own us. Dak's 10-2 since he's been in the league against us. He's 10 now 11-0 in his last 11 starts against the New York Giants, and we can't beat them. And as bad as last year's performance was against the Dallas Cowboys, especially the first game where they had 24 pressures on our quarterback, it somehow was worse tonight. The offensive line's performance tonight was somehow worse than it was last year, which I didn't think was possible. Like last year, I convinced myself that the second game of the regular season when we played the Dallas Cowboys, that is the worst offensive line performance I think I've ever seen. Tonight topped it. Tonight topped it. And Micah Parsons, their whole pass rush had their way. They had 7 sacks, probably should have had 9. They had, I think, 5 fumbles. They only, maybe 4 fumbles. They only were able to recover one of them magically. 2 interceptions. Could have had at least 2 more. We couldn't do anything against them. And we'll talk about it throughout the stream. I guess there's one positive drive, the opening drive. And outside of that, I mean, there's nothing offensively. And defensively, there's not much to talk about either. I mean, even Graham Gano had a bad game. How often do you say that? Graham Gano missed a 36-yard field goal. And, of course, he had the blocked field goal that I don't want to forget about. Even Andrew Thomas had a bad game. The crucial penalty on our opening drive, right? And then obviously the missed snap by JMS. You expect things like that to happen with rookies. You know that they're going to go through rookie pain, so I don't want to come down too much on him. Evan Neal. Calm down, Chris. He's still in year 2. He's still a guy that was a top 7 pick. That's what I'm telling myself before I say what I want to say. He was still a top 7 pick that was highly regarded coming out of Alabama, was thought to be one of the better tackle prospects in years. But what I want to say is Evan Neal is trending towards being a bust. It's only game 1. It's only year 2 for Evan Neal. But that wasn't Micah Parsons beating him off the edge. That wasn't Tank Lawrence beating him off the edge. That was like their 3rd string, 4th string pass rusher beating him off the edge. Evan Neal looked pitiful. The interior offensive line looked pathetic. There's nothing positive to take out of this game. Obviously, Daniel Jones, he's the quarterback. He's going to take the brunt. I get it. He's the face of the franchise. He got the contract. You put up 0 points. You deserve to get criticized. But until such time this team closes the gap in the trenches, we're not beating Dallas. We're not going to beat them. You cannot get that outmatched up at the point of attack like we did tonight, like we did last year when we played this team, and expect to beat that team outside of getting over the top lucky. I mean, they are so far ahead of us. It's crazy to me. As I'm watching the game, I'm saying to myself, Chris, how did you convince yourself that we were going to be competitive with this team, that we started to close the gap? We're not even close to the Dallas Cowboys, and it's week 1. And I know in 2 or 3 days, I'm going to convince myself that it's a long season. It's 17 games. I know it because I'm a fan, and I'm optimistic. I'm guilty as charged. I'm optimistic. I'm just an optimistic guy. I try to be optimistic with my sports teams. Just who I am. So I know I'm going to get back in the saddle because I'm crazy. I'm crazy right now. I'm going live to get my thoughts out, to talk to you guys, to hopefully give you guys a platform to spin your ideas off of each other, to hear me talk it out. Maybe it helps you guys after a loss like this. I can't even imagine what it was like to be a fan to go to that game tonight. You know, I saw a license plate guy on Twitter at about 9 a.m. today say that there were already fans at the stadium, pumped up. You wait all year for this. And they sit there in that pouring rain, have to sit through that performance. That's among one of the worst regular season performances I've ever seen a New York Giants team have. Ever. Especially when you factor in the magnitude of the fact that it was a divisional opponent in a year where you're coming off a playoff berth, where the fan base is finally starting to believe that there is further growth and that this team is really starting to turn the corner. And I'm not giving up on the year yet. I will not do that after one game. But I got to be a man of my word. I went into this year saying that this was a huge game. I thought it was the biggest game on our schedule. We had to set the tone. Even if we lost, it needed to be a game where I felt like coming out of it that we were competitive. We were starting to close the gap. And I know in a couple of days I'm going to convince myself it's a one-off. Everything just went wrong that game. Maybe this team's going to start to turn it around. Hopefully we get things going when we go up against the Arizona Cardinals. And you can't give up on a season after one game. Can't give up on a season after 2 games, 3 games. But you look at our schedule, and we better get it together real quick. We better get it together real quick. There's nothing to take out of this game where you could say, yeah, that was pretty good. That guy played pretty good. Barkley, I guess, played okay. It wasn't his fault on the interception that went off his hands. He got rocked. Didn't even get a chance to turn his head. So there you go. I guess our punter, Gillen, played okay. That's about it. There's not much else to take out of this game where you could say, all right, well, that's something to build off of. I guess Deonte Banks played okay. He got hurt. Leonard Williams, I didn't mention his name once. Not once. Kayvon Thibodeau, I didn't mention his name one time. Not once. Not one time. Dexter Lawrence, I think he had one really good play. Outside of that, he was nameless. Azeez Ojulari, I forgot he even played on the team after tonight. Oh, God. Oh, was that tough tonight, guys. I'm sorry you guys had to go through that, man. I'm sorry that you guys had to go through that tonight, guys. But thank you to everybody for being here. Chris B says, good game, Chris. Even I didn't expect this. Hey, man, like I said at the top of the stream, Chris B, I know you're a Cowboys fan, and I credit to you because Cowboys fans have every right to come in here and belittle me and poke fun at me. I showed way too much confidence in my team. Guilty as charged. So thank you for showing, I guess, some humility on me. But congratulations, man. You guys deserve to win. You guys are a much better football team. I think tonight you proved that the Dallas Cowboys are what people said going into the year. They are a top 3 team from within the conference. And with that defense, you got a chance. I mean, the Dallas Cowboys had a great defense last year. The year before that, since you've gotten Dan Quinn, they led the league in turnovers created the last 2 years, 2021, 2022. They've created the most turnovers in football. And tonight, you probably should have created 5 or 6. We got lucky that you only created 3. Master says, thanks, man, for going live again after Bleacher Report. Just sad, no excuses at all, but I'm still optimistic. Yeah, well, I know a lot of my platform's not going to go over to Bleacher Report. Most of my followers are on YouTube, so I figured I'd go on here, talk it out with you guys. I know a lot of people want to come on here and talk about the game after for at least a bit. So, yeah, I appreciate all you guys. If you weren't aware, I was on Bleacher Report tonight. I wouldn't get that opportunity without people who listen to my content like you guys. So I feel like I need to do this, right? This is part of having a YouTube channel and a platform where you talk about a team. You have to, as much as you may not want to. Like, I'm going to avoid Twitter this week. I don't want to be on Twitter, but you have to come on here. You got to talk about the team after a performance like this. Chris B says, like I've been saying, though, still a big gap. It's not even close. It's not even close. It's the size of the Grand Canyon right now. That's how I feel about the gap between the Giants and the Cowboys. Glenn Yates says the Giants are who I thought they were. The players bought into the hype like most of the fans did. It's going to take time. This team is young. Yeah, I mean, they are. They're one of the youngest teams in the NFL. Last year, they exceeded, I think, most people's expectations, at least reasonable fans' expectations. I thought they'd win 6 or 7 games. I said 7 because of the schedule. It was a very soft schedule going in. But they definitely exceeded my expectations and most people's expectations last year. And you hope this year that they continue to build off that. And they still may. They still could. But, this is a gut punch, and we're going to find out. We're going to find out how tough this team is, right? Dable says it every week during the press conferences. I'm sure he's saying it tonight. I haven't heard his press conference tonight, obviously. He says it every week that you got to forget about last game. Whether it was a great game or a horrible game, you got to move on to the next. So we'll see how tough this team is next week and the week after that. I mean, Arizona's a team we should beat, but after that, you got the 49ers, you got the Seahawks, you got, I think, the Dolphins pretty soon, the Jets, the Bills. Like, it's tough. Donovan says it's not even that we lost, it's how we lost, man. It wasn't even competitive. After the first 10 minutes, the game was over. Sebastian says, okay, in a broad way, the defense didn't give up huge plays tonight. And if there was a big play, it wasn't insane. Yeah, but that's because the defense wasn't on the field a whole lot because it was always short field with the turnovers that are. I'm not going to say, I mean, I guess the defense played okay at certain points. And they just, but there's not much to say. I mean, we got no pressure on Dak Prescott. None. So there's the offense is definitely worse tonight. The offensive line, Daniel Jones, whoever you want to say, the drops. I mean, the Hodgins fumble. It was just bad all around, man. Grizzly says, I think we are went a little too hard on Tony. It is what it is. That's part of the fun. I don't think that has anything to do with what happened tonight, but yeah, I get where you're coming from with that. MYJ26 says, get rid of Johnson. Bills and Giants lines sucked. Yeah, I mean, we get rid of Johnson. I mean, sure, he's probably going to lose his job if this offensive line doesn't mature and get better this year. He probably will lose his job, but is that going to solve the problem? I don't know. How many offensive line coaches have we gone through? Mark Colombo, you go down the list, and it hasn't worked out. I think this line needs continuity. They need to continue to grow, and we got to hope that Evan Neal becomes what he's supposed to be. But this is the year where you have to start being harder on Evan Neal. It's year 2 now, right? You were a top 7 pick. Year 1, you get a pass. You're a rookie. Transition. Year 2, there's expectations. We said all offseason, he's the key. He's the X factor. He's got to become at least a good right tackle. He's got to. By year's end, he's got to be an average right tackle in the NFL. And this is not a good start. I hope it gets better, man, because if it doesn't, it's going to hurt the team. And Word says, dude, what the blank? I don't even know what to tell you, man. I don't. I don't. It's bad, man. Jay Walnut says, maybe Neal needs to get bumped to guard. That's not going to happen this year. I could see it happening next year if he doesn't show progression. Somebody actually said that to me in my Bleacher Report stream. I don't see that happening for the simple reason Jay Walnut said, what's the plan? Like, if you kick him to the guard, who's going to play right tackle? You going to put Matt Parrott? I mean, come on. So I think this year you got to see what you have. You have to give Evan Neal the year. He was a top 10 pick. You got to give him the year. You got to see if he grows. You got to see if he gets better. And by year's end, I think that's when, if there's not progression and you think that he's trending towards being a failure, that's when you explore those possibilities, shifting him into the guard. But this year, I think he's got to get a full 17 games at the right tackle. I don't think we have a choice. We have no alternative. You're not going to trade for a tackle. It's not going to happen. And you're not going to start Matt Parrott. So you just got to hope this year he shows progress. It's week 1. We got to remember that. I know it's tough to think about right now, right after that football game, but it's week 1. We got 16 more games. So we'll give him the year, and we'll see where he is after that. And then the Giants will make their final determination in terms of what they should do with the guy. Let's see. Kevin says, I was there. Our spirit died after the first drive. Kevin, I'm going to be honest with you. I live streamed the game, and after the blocked field goal, I'm not going to say it because I'm a fan, and you hope beyond all hope that they'll turn it around. But as soon as they blocked that field goal and they returned it for a touchdown, I thought the game was over. And then obviously the 3-and-out, I pretty much knew the game was over right after that, because then we got away from what we were doing well on the first drive because we panicked and we fell behind and we tried to throw the football. We had the 3-and-out. You punt the ball away, and it just got out of control. So it sucked all the life out of the team. I'm sure out of the stadium. The Giants are driving just like the preseason game, right? You're saying to yourself, oh my God, this offense, wow. They're able to run the ball on them. They're creating holes. Barkley, Jones, this is great. This is how we all dreamt it up all offseason. First drive, they're going to use the legs. Jones, Barkley, you got Waller. They got to worry about him, so that's going to enhance the RPO and everything else. You get down to the 7-yard line, whatever it was. Andrew Thomas false start, 3rd and 7. JMS forgets how to snap a football. And then all of a sudden, Graham Gano gets a field goal blocked, and they run it back for 6. And then I said to myself, oh, that's what it's like to be a Giants fan. Now I remember. Because that's the way it's been for a long time. Nate Diddell says, as a Bears fan, I can relate to your pain, Chris. Hey, Nathan, man, I appreciate you for popping in. I didn't get a chance to watch your game today. I know that the Packers beat you guys. I didn't get a chance to watch how you guys did today. I know, obviously, you guys have raised expectations this year with Fields and all the other pieces you brought in. That was actually a game I was looking forward to watching. I didn't get a chance to watch it, but I appreciate the kind words, man. Bigger Mike says, Cowboys by 40, no thanks, Dak's fat ass. To Dak's fat ass, love you. Hey, Bigger Mike, man, thanks. I hope you're doing well, Mike. I just need to take a break, not just from this. I just need to take a break. I love you guys, though. I still love you guys. I hope you guys are doing well. And I'll definitely try to make it a point to pop in there sometime this week. But congratulations on your win today. I know you're an Eagles fan. You guys snuck through it, but you got to win. Kay says you should watch the post-game interviews on stream. Entertain. I had to turn the game off after the first quarter and just watch your stream. Thanks, Chris. Thank you for being here, man. And Kevin says never bought into the Neil had improved narrative. Yeah, at least I didn't. I wasn't of the belief that he had improved. I was of the belief that he was going to. But yeah, I didn't. I was not of the. It was not a conclusion for me. I wasn't like he has improved. No, I had to see it. But I was just under the assumption he's going to improve. You know, a top 10 pick, highly thought of prospect. So far, it does not appear that he has. Does not look good. Thought he looked shaky in the few preseason snaps, yet people tried to put lipstick on a pig. And that's what we do as fans. Let's be honest, Kevin. That's what we do as fans. We try to convince ourselves that things are going to go down the right path. But I can't fault anybody that expects Evan. It may expect Evan Neal to improve. He was a highly thought of prospect for a reason. I'm not giving up on the guy yet, but tonight was tough to watch. It was tough to watch, man. Peter says, I don't blame DJ at all. Not his fault, but honestly, who cares? I don't care at this point. Who, what, why, where. I just want to be a team that gets an ounce of respect outside of New York. Arizona looked infinitely more competent. Yeah, I kind of agree with you, Pete. Like, I can't say he's blameless. He's the quarterback. It's the most important position. The team put up 0 points. He did make one. The first interception's whatever. That's whatever. I'm not putting that on him at all. Not putting that on Barkley at all. That's more on the play calling, to be honest with you. The first interception. It's like, what was it, like 3rd and 15? 3rd and 18? You're inside. You're like your own 10 against that pass rush. Just call a draw play. Probably shouldn't have even called a pass play on that play, but that's whatever. The second one was a horrible decision. And that was DJ. That was early career DJ. That was rookie season DJ, second season DJ, when he feels like he has to be a superhero and tries to do more than what he should. That's what happened there. That's what resulted in that interception. That was a horrible throw. He deserves blame for that. It was very reminiscent of the interception he had against the Titans last year. But overall, if you're asking me, first off, it's the whole team. Daniel Jones deserves blame. The offensive line deserves blame. The defensive line deserves blame. Brian Dable deserves blame. There's blame to go around. But do I think he was the main culprit tonight? No. I think the offensive line was the main culprit. But I'm with you. It doesn't matter. You know, we're at a point now where we want to see results. We got to a point now where this team is starting to show, okay, we believe in these guys. We believe what we did last year. There is reason to think there will be growth. We're going to financially reward Dexter Lawrence. We're going to financially reward Andrew Thomas. We're going to financially reward Daniel Jones. And we're going to build around these players. And you don't expect them to lay an egg like they did tonight. There's no moral victories anymore. This is no longer the, you know, I will say we are still in the process of a rebuild. You know, we did overachieve last year. I think we got to realize that as fans. But we should not be a team that is okay with moral victories. You should never be a team that's okay with moral victories. But we're above that at this point. I think, you know, when you have a rookie quarterback, you know, you take what you could get. You take the positives from game to game. But this team now, with the raised expectations, no, you expect to win or at least compete. You don't expect to go out there and lose 40 to freaking nothing. Come on. Stanley, man, thank you very much. He says, hey, the Cowboys are not that good and the Giants are not that bad, but the Giants just had a bad night. Stanley, I hope you're right. Talk me off a ledge, Stanley. Talk me off a ledge because, like I said on Bleacher Report, right now I'm on a bridge. I'm not jumping off, but I'm on a bridge. And I'm looking down, and I'm starting to question. I'm not saying it's fact yet, but I'm starting to question after tonight's performance. And I think that's fair to question whether or not, you had way too high of expectations for this team going into the year. Question. Going into the year, I thought we were a 9 or 10 win team. We did not play like a 9 or 10 win team tonight. We played like a 2-win team. And I hope it's a one-off. I do. I hope it's a one-off. But I went into this year saying the way that we're going to measure our progress is going to be from how we play within the division. We played from within the division tonight, and the score right now is 40-0. We'll see how we rebound the second time we play them, but not good tonight. I hope you're right, man. Tim says those mistakes rookies made, like I told my sons, you fall, you learn, and you grow. And that's the only way. That's the way you got to listen. At the end of the day, it's impossible not to be negative after tonight. If you're a fan, it's impossible. Your team lost 40-0 to the Dallas Cowboys, coming off a year in which you won the playoff game. But what choice do we have? What choice do we have as fans? That's the way I look at it. There's going to be people now that are going to be screaming to the hills, and I understand it. Daniel Jones got a big contract. He got $40 million. They're going to be screaming to the hills. Shouldn't have paid him. He's a bust. What a horrible decision. What choice do you have? The Giants made a 2-year commitment to the guy. He's going to be the quarterback. And we got to hope they made the right decision. And we got to hope that this team grows over the course of the year. And you got to hope that Evan Neal matures. And you got to hope that Deonte Banks gets better. And I think he will. He actually looked pretty good today outside of the injury. You got to hope that JMS gets better. That's all you could do as a fan. We don't have power. And I'm not going to come on here and say that the Giants made a mistake off of one game in which he had very little chance to be successful. So I'm not flipping out. I know the mass media will. I know people are going to go crazy. But it's a long season, and it's a young team. Blitz, what's going on, man? This team is young, but holy crap, man. That was bad. It was horrible. I turned the game off after halftime. I mean, you're at home, and that's how you play. It's pathetic. It's pathetic. And I convinced myself all offseason, I'm guilty. We got a great coach. All this time to prepare opening week. Brian Daboll's got to have something up his sleeve. He's a smart guy. He's got to have something up his sleeve. There's no way he's going to be able to get trounced by Mike McCarthy, even if they have more talent, which they do, which we all knew going in. He got destroyed. Destroyed. Home in the rain. I didn't see it coming. Not like that. I don't think many people saw that coming. Zach says, appreciate you for streaming at this dark time. Like I said, man, at the top of the stream, it helps me just as much as it helps you guys. Get an opportunity to, none of my friends are up right now to call and talk about this game. So I'm going to be thinking about it anyway while I'm going to bed. So I might as well come on. And if it helps other people get through it, great. D'Amato says, what an absolute embarrassment tonight. Bench Neal. What's the choice, though? I get why you're saying that because Neal was pathetic tonight. And he's at least trending towards being a disappointment with that pick. But what's the choice? Who are you going to bench him for? You going to bench him for Matt Parrott? You know what you have with Matt Parrott. Like, he's garbage. So I'm not saying Evan Neal right now isn't garbage because tonight he was. And he was not good his rookie year. But we got to spend this year and find out what we have. You got to hope that he evolves and he gets better. And next year, if not, we'll look for solutions. But this year, I think you got to ride it out. You got to hope that Evan Neal gets better over the course of the year. At least that's my mentality. Let's see. Chris B says, I think Jones sucks, but your O-line didn't help him. Hey, that's fair. Listen, I can't defend Daniel Jones after tonight. I mean, I don't think he sucks. I don't. I think he is a good quarterback, but after tonight, I can't defend him. Like, hey, if you think Daniel Jones sucks, you win. You won round one, guys. You won round one. If you think Daniel Jones sucks, like, I can't defend him tonight. They didn't score a point. But I don't think he sucks. But he sucked tonight. The team sucked tonight. The offensive line was abysmal tonight. Abysmal tonight. And B-Dog says, here by MetLife, thinking of trying to go to Monday night to double up because I'm at a loss for the Giants. But I'm already here. So if I could go, why not? Yeah. Will they play? When do they play Monday night? They play the Seahawks Monday night, right? That's week 4, I think, right? So hopefully they get better. Hopefully they get better. Hopefully they get better, man. Let's see. Yeah. O-line was super trash. They were scared of the rain. I don't know what they were scared of. To me, it's the same story with this team now. Every freaking year we play the Dallas Cowboys. Every freaking year. And the Eagles. Throw them in there too. It's a broken record, but it's the trenches. And it's not just the offensive line, it's the pass rush. That, to me, is the most frustrating part of this game for me. I mean, the offensive line, yeah, that's super frustrating. But I went into the game questioning the offensive line. I went into the game saying, well, I don't know what we have with Evan Neal. I hope he evolves. I don't know what I have with JMS. He's a rookie. So I knew that this was I didn't think this bad was possible. But I knew Dallas killing us. Their D-line killing us was possible going into the game. I did not think our pass rush would be completely non-existent. Where was Kayvon? Where was Dex? Where was Leo? Where was Aziz? Where were they? They didn't show up. They weren't there. It just bad, man. Bad. That's supposed to be the strength of this football team. D'Amato says Shane needs to do something. Sign veterans ASAP. I don't know what I don't. If I thought that would help, I'd be all for it. And maybe they'll find a guy that could really help this team. But hey, I think they're going to battle with the guys they got. And you got to hope that these younger players mature and get better over the course of the year. We're a young team. You just got to hope they can improve. It's one game, and you hope it's a one-off. You hope it was just a horrible day. You know, we all have horrible days at our job. You hope that's what this was. You hope. I'm not saying it was. You hope it was. Kevin says, Thibodeau, is it safe? Where are you, dude? Dude, he deserves criticism after tonight, too. I'm criticizing him. Ian says, Chris, we bashed Dave Gettleman for trying to rebuild and win at the same time. Could you argue that this, to a lesser extent, is what Shane is doing? Too many new faces. No, I think it's different. Because what Shane has done, for me at least, these are all stopgap solutions. They're short-term solutions. He's not signing guys to record-breaking contracts. When Gettleman took over, he went out there and he signed Nate Solder to a record-breaking contract, left tackle. Obviously, the huge contract with Kenny Golladay, Adoree Jackson. These are short-term stopgap fill-ins. So I think what Shane has done is he realized off of last year you can't tank. You have to try to build off of last year. You have to try to improve. But he did it in a way in which he could pivot if things don't go according to plan. Like Darius Slayton, there's an easy out. It's 1 year, you're gone if they want to get rid of you. Same thing with, pretty much everyone else he brought in outside of Bobby Okereke. We need a linebacker. Waller's got 1 more year worth of commitment, I suppose. Daniel Jones, another year. But these aren't contracts where it's going to destroy your cap for 3, 4, 5 years down the line. So I think it's a little bit different. And if you're Shane, how do you not try to build off of last year, right? You finally improved the culture from within that locker room. You want a playoff game. You have to try to build off of that. So what was he supposed to do? You had the 24th, 25th pick. He's not going to tank. I think he did it in a reasonable way. He didn't go out there and, give up tons and tons of resources. He didn't sign guys to mega deals. I think he did it in a way in which he could pivot if things don't work out. So I don't think it's the same thing. Chris B says, also tonight, McCarthy, Quinn, better than Dable and Wink. It's 40-0. Yes. Yes. McCarthy was better than Dable. Yes. Your entire coaching staff, your play-by-play callers, the guys who sell hot dogs were better. Your cheerleaders were better. We don't even have cheerleaders, but if we did, they'd be better. Everything about the Star and America's team tonight was better than the New York Giants. Everything. So, yes, no arguments here. B-Dog says, Jets, Bills tomorrow, thinking of going. Oh, that's what you're talking about. I'm thinking Giants. Sorry, B-Dog. That should be a great game. I mean, I'm a Giants fan. I wouldn't pay for it, and I'm sure the ticket prices are outrageous. I'm looking forward to watching it. I think it's going to be a great game. I think the Jets are really good this year. Not Super Bowl good, but I think they're really good. I think that'll be a fun game. So if you do, go enjoy it. I thought you were talking about the Giants. MY Giants 26 says our D-line is not good if we play a good line. Yeah, that's fair to say. I mean, the Eagles last year, Dexter, and I love Dex, and I still think Dex is a great player, and I'm glad he's a cornerstone piece of this team. Dex got no pressure against the Eagles last year. Every time we played him, that's fair to say. We got no pressure. We had zero sack. We had zero. Did we have a sack tonight against the Cowboys? I don't think so. Let me look. We might have had one. I think we had one. Let me look. I think we had one. Might have had one. It was a meaningless sack. Nope, we didn't. So dating back to last year now, the New York Giants have played 12 quarters of football against the Dallas Cowboys. 180 minutes of football against the Dallas Cowboys. They have not had one sack in those 12 quarters, in those 180 minutes. Not one. Not one. Come on. Bill, thank you very much, man. What was up with the bad snaps tonight, Rain? Yeah, and I think it's a rookie center. But yeah, of course, Rain probably a bit of a factor as well, but it's a rookie center. That was something that I probably should have thought about more going into the game. Somebody actually mentioned that today on Twitter to me. I'm like, well, that's actually a really good point. The center quarterback exchange, rookie center. You think about Nick Gates when he first took over the center job. There was a lot of, moments where you held your breath early on, right, with the snapping. So that probably should have been expected. I expect that to hopefully clean itself up as the season progresses. But yeah, the rain, rookie center, everything else. The Imp, thank you so much for being a member. He says, we had it difficult on the stream. Imagine the horror of sitting in the rain I can't even imagine. And a lot of people were there at like 9 a.m. today, 10 a.m. today. I can't even imagine. LA Sports is tough night, but the way I see it, if you lose 40-0 or 21-20, you're still 1-0. On to the Cards. It was just a bad night. Daboll's still a great head coach. DJ's still great. Hey, that's the right way to look at it. And that's going to be the way I look at it. Just, it's going to take me a little time. But yeah, I mean, what choice do you have? Whether you're a member of the Giants, a player, a coach, or a fan. I mean, you can check out if you want. You do whatever you want. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to watch the games. I'm going to hope my team plays well. What choice do you have? You have to hope that's what it is. You have to hope it's just a one-off. It's a horrible showing. Week 1, the team came out completely unprepared. Brian Daboll's going to light into him, and the team will start to put it together and turn it around. This is the first time, Brian Daboll really hasn't had any adversity as a coach for the Giants. This is the first time since Daboll's been the head coach of the Giants he spent a minute under 500. Last year, the Giants were not under 500 once all year. Of course, we got off to that really hot start, and we were able to maintain a record over 500 all year. This is the first time he's been under 500. So this is really his first dose of adversity since he's been coaching with the New York Giants. So we'll see what he's made of. We'll see what he's made of. We'll see what he's able to get out of these players. Hopefully it's a one-off, and hopefully the team bounces back. Peter says we need to be prepared that this loss might signal something catastrophic this season. Our team was less talented last year, new schemes for everyone, and we played Dallas far better both games. How do you explain that? I mean, the scores indicated we played them much better, and we did play them better. We did, but we were not close to Dallas last year. I said that countless times going into this game on my streams. I thought we had closed the gap somewhat, and I thought our coaching would be able to put us over the top week 1, being that it was at home, or at least I hoped that, and thought it was a reasonable expectation to think it was possible. But last year, the scores were not nearly, in my opinion at least, when I watched the games, they didn't indicate of how the games really went. They destroyed us last year, Dallas. Those games should have been 20-point losses, but tonight was worse. Tonight was a 40-point loss, and we got completely dismantled. I don't have an explanation for you, Pete. I just think sometimes, at least I'm hoping, sometimes teams just come out completely flat. And they're a better football team, and when we come out flat and you fall behind in the way in which we did, I think it was, maybe it was a gut punch, right? You go down the field, you're building confidence. The field goal gets blocked. They return it for 6, and all of a sudden, it creeps into their minds. Nope, we can't beat this team. We can't beat this team. And maybe that's what happened. I don't know. Dable said it at the beginning of the year, right? That every year it's a different team. Last year means nothing. There's no momentum when it comes to football. It is a week-to-week league, and there is not a truer statement than that. It is as week-to-week of a league as there is in any of the major sports. What you did last week means very little to what you're going to do the following week. And hopefully this team rebounds. We're going to find out what they're made of real soon. So tough. It's tough of a start to the season as we could have endured. Roman says, we are all in this together. Love you guys. Thank you, Roman, for being here, man. I appreciate it, buddy. Tough one tonight, man. Tough. Game 1, and I'm already looking to see what's available for the O-line in free agency. That's even disappointing. I'd rather watch flies. Yeah, I'm not going to do that yet. But, hey, you're going to have to continue to improve this O-line, even if Neal works out, which hopefully he does, Michael. Even if Neal works out, we're going to need to continue to address that position. You never stop drafting offensive linemen. I'm going to tell you what, you watch that game, Glowinski's not the answer. Bredesen's not the answer. We're going to need to continue to improve the offensive line. That's far from a finished product. We still got to improve the guard spots, and you have to hope Neal works out. Or if Neal, maybe Neal becomes a guard if he doesn't work out at the tackle. I don't know. But there's still some sewing up to do with that offensive line. As sad as that may sound, I know it's like beating a dead horse and beating the drum over and over again. But, hey, you got to keep doing it. You got to keep trying to fix it until you get it right. And it's not right yet. It's just not. Hopefully it gets closer to right by the end of the year, with some of the younger players we have on this roster. But it's tough, man. It's tough. And Chris B says, why was Jones in with I should have mentioned that in my Bleacher Report live stream. I don't know. Can somebody in the chat, I'll catch up with the chat now because obviously I'm a little bit behind. Can somebody in the chat? Oh, thank you for the raid, guys. I guess Vok is sending everybody over here. Congratulations, Cowboys fans. I've never worked with Vok Lombardi. I'd like to. I think he's a great content creator, so I appreciate him sending the raid over here. Of course, when I catch up with the chat, Cowboys fans pile in. But, hey, congratulations tonight. You guys deserved it. I convinced myself that this team was going to be able to compete and that we were starting to close the gap, and we didn't come close. So all I could say, Vok, and all the Cowboys fans in here, congratulations. You guys are still much better than we are. We're not even close. We're not. We got a ways to go before we can compete with you guys. Once again, it's like a broken record. You guys continue to dominate us up at the point of attack on both sides of the ball. I don't even know what else to say. I got to tip my cap. So congratulations to the Cowboys fans out there. Chris B says, why was Jones in with I don't understand it. I was not flipping out, but yeah, I was close to flipping out in Bad Dog Extreme. Somebody in the chat tell me what your guys' thoughts are on that. Why in the world with not even 3 minutes, with 8 minutes, 9 minutes, you got rain pouring down. You've got Josh Ezeudu in there. You've got the whole backup offensive line and Evan Neal, who might as well be a backup offensive lineman. Daniel Jones has been getting hit all night. He's been getting crushed all night. You're down 40-0. Why is Daniel Jones still in the game? And if your answer is, well, Daniel Jones probably told him he wanted to be a leader and he wanted to stay out there, I don't care. Your job as a head coach is to pull him at that point in the game. So, yeah, I think that I don't understand that decision by Brian Daboll. You're down 40-0. Barkley's on the bench. Waller's on the bench. You got backup linemen in there going up against a team that's been killing your quarterback all night. What were they doing? I didn't get that. I didn't get that. I did not get that. And I'm usually not very critical at all with Brian Daboll. There's very few times that I ever really have been critical of him. Last year, the only time where I really critiqued him was the Adoree Jackson decision, which I think was unanimous among Giants fans, when he decided to make him the punt returner when he was our only reliable cornerback. And, of course, naturally, he got hurt the next game. But why was Daniel Jones still in the game? I didn't get that. I didn't get that. Let's see. And I see fans saying keep him in the game. Yeah, I get it. You don't like Daniel Jones. You want to see him get beat up, but it's not the right decision. You just invested $160 million in the quarterback. You should not have him out there at that point. Glenn says, I turned 50 in 2 days. My wife made me choose between going to the Eagles, Steely Dan concert at MSG on Friday, and the Giants game tonight. I guess with age comes wisdom. It was a great concert. Good choice by you, Glenn. That would ruin your birthday. And Revolutionary Edit says, outscored 78-7 the last 2 games that counted. Shaking my head. It's wild. Yeah, I mean, that's crazy when you think about it. Of course, you're referring to the divisional game against the Philadelphia Eagles where we got completely disbanded. And the thing that makes it even more sickening, both games are from within the division. Teams that you got to play 2 times every year. Disgusting, sickening. We have 0 sacks against the Dallas Cowboys in the last 12 quarters we played them. What more do I got to say? The Dallas Cowboys in the last 12 quarters they played us, you know how many sacks they've had against us? 15. We've had 0. 0. We've had they had more. The Dallas Cowboys probably had more pressures tonight. I would love to look up this statistic. The Dallas Cowboys probably had more pressures tonight on Daniel Jones than the Giants have had in 10 years against the Dallas Cowboys. They had like 40 pressures tonight. They had 15 pressures by halftime, and it felt like they doubled it in the second half. Calm down, Chris. Solid Duck says it's Vach. I'm sorry, Vach. I know it's spelled VOCH. I guess I didn't pronounce it properly, but I watch it. I watch his content all the time. He does great draft breakdowns. Yeah, he seems like a good guy. So I appreciate the raid, Vach. But thank you guys. Thank you guys for being here. Let's see. Tiki Barber sent you. Can't win many games with it. No, you can't. To be honest, since the start of last year, we started strong 7-2, then finished 9-7-1. Besides the playoff game against the Vikings, we have sucked even worse today. Yeah, I mean, I attributed that to the fact that we played the Eagles twice in the second half of the season last year. I thought we played some tougher teams, but yeah, I mean, you're right. We made the playoffs due in large part to last year getting off to a hot start. Let's see. Are they taunting us, Charles? I don't know. Yeah, they probably are. I probably shouldn't thank them. I probably shouldn't thank them. Good call by you. Let's see. Chris, did you see the replay of that Gilmore interception? It didn't look like it bounced to me. I only saw it a couple of times while I was watching the game. But it didn't look like it bounced to me. It looked like it was a really good play. MY Giants 26, man, thank you very much. He says, Giants restructured Dex and Okereke contract now. Did that just come out? So they did. Wow, they've restructured a lot of contracts the last couple of days. Next week against Arizona is such a huge game. Well, and then you're going to say the same thing against the 49ers. Yeah, I agree. I mean, if they lose to Arizona, I mean, my God. So they better win. But then the next week's going to be big, and the next week after that. Yeah, I guess it did bounce. Okay. I thought it was a clean interception on TV, but hey, I haven't seen the slow breakdown replays. I'm sure there's clips of it on Twitter. It doesn't matter. Instead of losing 40-0, 33-0, whatever it was, we got killed either way. What was Jones honestly supposed to do tonight? I mean, not much. He had no. Listen, people call it excuses. It's not excuses. It's reality. Like, he didn't have much of a chance. He didn't have much of a chance. But the second interception he threw was a horrible play. I'll definitely knock him for that. But I mean, he was getting killed, and he didn't have much of a chance. But hey, he's the $40 million man. He's the quarterback. He's going to take the brunt of it. That's just the reality of the situation. That's what comes with the territory. That's just what's going to happen. Let's see. Collapse for Caleb. We're not going to get the first pick. Dizzy says, I was delaying going to basic training for the Air Force because of football season, but after tonight, I might call my recruiter and leave. Well, thank you for serving our country, first off. But yeah, I wouldn't blame you. After tonight, I wouldn't blame you. Let's see. Diego says, Andrew Thomas hamstring. He'll get in. Yeah, I saw that. I don't know how serious the injury is, but I did see that. Jordan Renan posted that after the game, that he had some kind of hamstring injury. I don't know the severity of it. They said they're going to look it over. If Andrew Thomas is going to miss any time, like, you better pray that Daniel Jones is alive after next week. It's Cole, thank you. He says, that was actually abysmal. And to keep Jones in to continue to get sacked is very mature from the Giants staff. Going to the Jets game tomorrow, so excited. Enjoy the game, man. Yeah, I know you're a Jets fan. You've been with me for a while. It's cool. I'm happy for you guys. You guys got a competitive team. So I'm good times for Jets fans. So good luck tomorrow night. But as far as I didn't understand what Dable was thinking there, and I was curious to get fans' takes with that. I didn't understand it. Didn't make any sense to me. Let's see. Bear, thank you, man. He says, Evan Neal lied. He hasn't gotten better. Not all Jones' fault. I think our defense can be good. Rookies will get there. I think our defense could be good. I think our offense can still be good. But I think the wake-up call and the eye-popping moment tonight was we're not good enough where it matters in the trenches. Not when we're going up against an elite team like the Dallas Cowboys, and they are elite, at least where it matters. They're elite up at the point of attack. We don't match up with those teams. And newsflash, we're playing another one in 2 weeks, and that's San Francisco 49ers. So I don't know what the plan's going to be, but good luck. It's going to be tough, man, for DJ next week. It's in 2 weeks, rather. Let's see. Dable kept Jones because he wanted to spark, he said. Spark of what? He had all the backups in the game. JC, thank you very much, man. When DJ had time, he wasn't accurate. I wonder if he's no good in the rain. Maybe. I mean, you saw Joe Burrow today. He was horrible in the rain. I remember the book on. He's still a little bit hurt though, if I'm not mistaken. But I remember the book on. If I recall, maybe I'm wrong. I think when Burrow got drafted, one of the knocks on him, or one of the things that people were critical about or worried about, what I think his hand size was small. And generally speaking, quarterbacks that have smaller hands traditionally don't do well in the rain. So if I'm recalling that properly, maybe that had something to do with it today. But Burrow looked like he couldn't play in the rain today. But hey, maybe that is something with Daniel Jones. Who knows? It's Cola says, you're the only reason I can't hate on the Giants. One benefit, though, was Jones-Waller connection slowly starting to flourish. Good luck as always, brother. I think it's going to take some time for them to really hit their full speed after tonight. But hey, Dallas is a good defense. I think it'll look better against Arizona, but how much are you going to take out of that? Then we play a really good defense the next week. Let's see how they look after that, right? But I think the offense will look better next week. I mean, it can't look worse. I agree. The play calling was suspect tonight. We got away from what was working on the first drive. I think we panicked a little bit too early. Yeah, I think we panicked. I do. The first drive, it was great. Very innovative. You saw a lot of pre-snap motion, orbit motion. You had the one play with the three guys in the backfield. Like, you were like, wow, they really came out prepared. They had a good 10 to 12 plays prepared for the game to start the game. And then after that pick six, it was a gut punch. And I just felt like the team, the play caller, the players, they panicked. And they got away from what was working. Wouldn't have mattered because we were going to have to throw at some point tonight, and we could not pass protect to save our lives. Daniel Jones trash, should have paid the right. What good would that have done, though? What good would that have? I mean, even if you think Daniel Jones is trash, which after tonight, I can't knock you for feeling that way. What would that have done? If you paid Saquon Barkley, would the team be any better? Well, who would be the quarterback? Who would be the quarterback? You weren't going to trade up to get one of those guys that went in the top 4. So what would the plan have been? Boogie says car got stolen on Tuesday. Now this. Dude, sorry to hear that, man. My God, that's horrible. There are positives. Jones didn't lose us the game. He didn't play bad. He had no time. Our rookies on D didn't get smoked. Yeah, I would say, I mean, if you want to really like look for positives tonight, which you have to look really hard, I guess Gillen played well for the most part, a guy that we're worried about. Deonte Banks, for a rookie, I thought played relatively well before he got hurt. Like, there may be a single player here and there that you could be like, yeah, he played pretty well, but there's not much. It's not much, man. Check out Dable press conference. I was not impressed at all. All right, let's take a look at it. I mean, I'm sure it's really long though, right? And I know what Dable says. I already know what Dable says. And listen, if I was Dable, I would do the same thing. So I'm not going to come down on him for it. I know as fans we get frustrated, but let's be real. What is he supposed to say? What happened the last time a coach did what the fans said that they wanted from him? Joe Judge. He looked like a fool. When Judge finally opened up and stopped giving those robotic answers and the pre-scripted answers, it probably cost him his job because he came out and said, "Oh, we're not a clown show. We're not this. We're not that." Like, he gave the fans that were complaining about, kept giving the same answers over and over again. And when he did that, he looked like a fool. So I don't blame Dable. If I was Dable, I'd do the same thing. I at the end of the games, I would be like, we got to worry about next week. I'm sure that's what he said. All we can do is worry about next week. It's a week-to-week league. So, I don't know. I know as fans we want more of that, but put it on. Let me take a look. Hold on one second. I'll put it on. Let's see. Brian Dable presser. Let's see. What is it on the Giants channel? Well, I see the Giants channel's live right now, so I'm assuming that's what it's on. I don't want to take away from them. Not, well, it's live. I don't want to do that. If it was recorded, I would do it, but I don't want, you could go over there to watch it. I don't want to play it while it's live. Let's see. I'll definitely watch it though. I went to Urban Outfitters the other day and Joe Judge was the greeter. Daniel was not throwing the ball seriously. He didn't have time to throw the ball. But yeah, he wasn't. Crybabies. Who's crying? I don't think anybody's crying. I think people are just talking about what happened tonight. Team lost 40-0. I mean, what are you supposed to do? The team played bad tonight. You're gonna what are you gonna say? Oh, we played great? No, the team played bad. Hey, listen, Rick, we got smacked today, man. Do you think Tibbs will produce this year? Yes. I think he'll be better than he was tonight. But how much better? How much better? That's the question. Tonight was definitely discouraging. He didn't do a whole lot tonight. Keith says, I'm sitting here so confused, like where to start. How do you improve off this? Danny looked like, Willie Beeman in the rainy game at night. Yeah, I mean, if I was the coach of the Giants, I would literally say, I mean, obviously you're going to watch the film. You're going to see what you can improve upon, which is everything. But I would say to the players, I would say, listen, scrap that. Scrap it. Throw it out. That's not us. We're going to get back to what we do best, and it's going to start week 2 against the Arizona Cardinals because there is nothing positive to take out of this game. Rip it up, scrap it, start over. Everybody has some fault in it, guys. We did a bad job as coaches. The play callers did a bad job in terms of executing the game plan. You guys didn't execute properly. We all had our faults. Scrap it. We got 16 more games to improve upon it. That's the only approach you could take. There's nothing positive to take out of tonight. And Peter says, if every year is different, new team, etc., then why are some teams good every year? Well, I'll tell you why, but we'll get to that in a second. They're just the luckiest teams in the world? No. There was supposed to be some continuity, talent, coaching, scheme, etc. Well, yeah. Look at the teams that are the consistently good teams in the league, Pete. Chiefs. Answer's obvious. They've got Pat Mahomes, You look, my mic went out for a second there. I'm going to switch back to the other one. You've got the Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen. You've got the Dallas Cowboys. Offensive line, incredible, right? Historically speaking, at least in recent years. Defensive line. Eagles, same thing. Great pass rush, great offensive line. The Giants don't have that. The Giants are not strong in the trenches. We're hoping it gets to that, but we don't have that. That's how you have consistent success in the NFL. Look at the 49ers. 49ers are built incredible on both sides of the line. They're built so well they could take Mr. Irrelevant, Brock Purdy, and make him look like one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. So that's how you have consistent success in the NFL. It's about continuity. It's about building a group of players that you could build with, which is what we're hoping that Joe Schoen has started to do this past year with the players that he retained and brought back. But it takes some time. You have to draft well. You have to bring up the players properly. You have to coach them well. But yeah, the teams that are most consistent in this league are teams that either have an incredible quarterback or they are built incredibly well at the places, the areas of the team that matter the most, the offensive and defensive line. Nico says, hard to see D-line in the backfield before the O-line even moves. Yeah, it was. I mean, I'm used to it. It seems like every time we play Dallas, that's what happens. But it's sickening. I know this is bad, probably the worst loss I've ever seen, but I have hope still. It's week 1. It's one loss. It's a long season. I hope Dable and Jones try to forget about this and get the dub. That's all we can hope as fans. I mean, in reality, that's all we could hope. We could complain, we could cry, we could scream, and people have every right to do that. Because I'm kind of doing that, at least on the inside. I'm furious. I'm disappointed with tonight, but at the end of the day, you got to move on. You got to hope things get better, man. And if they don't, well, we'll worry about what the team's got to do in the offseason. But we still got a long season ahead of us, man. And let's see. Welvin said it would be a rude awakening. Guess I was right. I mean, congratulations. You were right. Congratulations. Joseph says, hey, Chris, I was at the game, and it was horrendous. I thought Banks played really well. And I would say Banks played pretty well. He had a nice pass break up in the end zone. He didn't really get beat that bad from what I recall, maybe on a play or two, but I thought he played pretty well. What's up, A-Back? Is Jones an elite quarterback or top 15? I still think I still think he's full. I'm not going to say elite. No, but no, he's not elite. There's not many elite quarterbacks. I think there's only maybe 3 or 4 elite quarterbacks in the NFL. Do I think he's a top? I personally do. And I know after tonight, I look like a fool for saying that. But I'm going to stick to my opinion. Yeah, I do. I do think from a talent standpoint, he's a top 15 quarterback in the NFL. Do I think he's elite? No. But elite quarterbacks don't grow on trees. And there's teams in the NFL that have been searching for elite quarterbacks for 50, 60 years. You know how long the Browns have been searching for an elite quarterback? You know how long the New York Jets have been searching for an elite quarterback? You know how long the Vikings have been searching for an elite quarterback? I'll give you a hint. You know how long the Chicago Bears have been searching for an elite quarterback? You know how many countless first-round quarterbacks these teams have drafted? It's their entire franchise's existence. So when you have a good quarterback, which obviously the Giants think they have, you build with him. And we're going to find out. I mean, he's got 16 more games this year. He's probably got another 17 games next year. And then we'll evaluate and we'll see what we got. I think he's got at least another, provided he stays healthy, another 33 games as the starting quarterback for the New York Giants. And we'll find out from there. I wanted to beat traffic, so I stayed for the whole game. Well, good job by you, because there was nobody left. Dante says, I'm not quitting on this team after one blowout loss at home. There's still plenty of football left for us to play. There's still plenty of time for us to make much-needed adjustments. I agree, but tonight is definitely discouraging. Glenn says the Cowboys have Zach Martin and Micah Parsons. Both could have been Giants, but we took Odell and Tony instead. That's why we suck. I mean, that's part of the reason why we suck. I mean, it's hard to really knock the Odell pick. But yeah, I mean, in reality, long term, the Martin pick would have been better. But the Parsons pick you could absolutely complain about. NY Giants 26 says dumb guard rotation through camp, no continuity. And I just don't think our guards are good. I just don't think our guards are good. The Giants won a Super Bowl with a backup quarterback. They did. The Eagles won a Super Bowl with a backup quarterback. They also had, a great offensive line, a great defense, I should say, and a great offensive line. And one of the all-time greatest coaches. But yes, they were able to win a Super Bowl with Jeff Hostetler. Let's see. Tana, anyway, Daves is out there. No. I mean, I'll never say never, but no, I'd be beyond shocked. No. Tank for Caleb if we're not going to tank. We're not going to tank. We're not doing that, man. Your tackles weren't good. No, they weren't. Our entire offensive line was pathetic tonight. I mean, obviously the quarterback's going to take the brunt. They always do. They always get more credit than they should and more blame than they should. But if you watch that game, I mean, the offensive line was non-existent. It was horrible. The guards, the centers, the tackles, everybody got destroyed. And until such time that gets better, this is going to I mean, I'm not saying 40-0's going to happen, but we're not going to beat teams like yours. Not consistently. Maybe there'll be a game or two where we find a way, but yeah, Jones played bad tonight. He did. We scored 0 points. He played bad tonight. The coaching was listen, there's blame to go around for everybody. Tough loss, Big Blue. Can't give Eagles fans saying this. Can't give up. It's only week 1. It's only week 1. I agree. I'm not giving up. But it's a gut punch, and it's definitely a wake-up call. And I think it's evidence that we are very far away in this division. We have not closed the gap against the Cowboys and you guys. I mean, maybe things will change over the course of the year, but right now we're not even close to you guys. Let's see. I know it was our O-line. You don't got to tell me, man. I watched the game. Watch the game. I have eyes. I mean, it's anybody that's looking at it from an unbiased perspective and is not just looking to throw the blame on the quarterback, that looks at it objectively, knows the line was the main problem tonight. You'd be silly not to think so. It was pathetic. I know it was the line. It was pathetic. Welvin says, was at the game embarrassing? The most embarrassing thing, Welvin was, and not that I would have left too if I were you guys, the way the game played out in the pouring rain. But at the end of the game, all that was left was Cowboys fans, obviously celebrating on our field. You need a dominant blow. I mean, that'd be nice. But Knicks Nation, even if you get that, which hopefully you do, that'd be great. Even if we get that, is that really going to instill any more confidence in you? For me, I have to see us play well against a really good team, whether that's the 49ers, whether that's the Seahawks, whether that's the Dolphins. I got to see us play really well against a really good team. If we beat the Cardinals by 20 points, okay, but the Cardinals stink. I stayed no leaving my team to die alone. I kept cheering. Well, hey man, John, good for you, man. In the rain like that, good for you, man. Chris Collinsworth tried not to beat up the Giants. It's impossible if you were calling that game not to beat up the Giants tonight, man. That's fair, Knicks Nation. Muted again. Sorry about that. I didn't think we were beating the Niners tonight, before tonight. I definitely don't think we're beating the Niners after tonight. So even if we win by 60, I don't think we're beating the Niners against the Cardinals. Giants fans, from here on out, you can stop being delusional. Yeah, I mean, we're far off at this point. I think that's fair. I think tonight was a gut check. We'll see what happens. We got the Cardinals. It's one game. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I think for me at least, I can't tell anybody how to feel about their team and root for their team. For me, yeah, it's a gut check. I'm starting to question: is this a playoff team? Is this a 9-win team? That's what I think it's going to take to make the playoffs. I have to see evidence of growth, and hopefully this is just a one-off. That's what I'm hoping. Of course, Cardinals a must-win for us. I just got back from the game, spent $400 on tickets, and sat in the rain to watch that disaster. I feel so stupid. I'm sorry for that, man. I'm sorry for all you guys, man. It was tough enough for us to watch it, let alone be there. Sorry you had to go through that. No, I got work tomorrow, Jacob. I'm probably gonna end this in about 15 minutes, but I wanted to talk to you guys, hang out with you guys after the game. I know you guys want to talk about it. I don't know if we're gonna beat the Cardinals convincingly, BB13. I just said if we do, it's not gonna make me any more confident in this team. For me to have more confidence in this team, I got to see us play well against a good team. I'm not saying I'm predicting a blowout win against the Cardinals. I'm not. I think we're going to beat the Cardinals, but I'm not predicting a blowout win. And Glenn Yates says 13-14 to the boys. We're a bad organization. Hey, man, I say it all the time. I hate to admit it. Cowboys built their team well. We didn't in recent years. They've built their team incredibly well. So have the Eagles. I think and hope we're starting to build our team properly, but I've thought that before. And, so how many times am I going to look like a fool? But that's what we do as fans. Jojo says, can't even sleep, bro. Throw the whole damn roster out and burn the franchise. I'm not going to go that far, but I understand where you're coming from after tonight. It was pathetic. Estelle says, I don't care that we lost tonight. I can't see how true Giants fans say things that are being said as comments on these streams. One game, the season is not over. Whole right side of the offense is trash. Yeah. I mean, listen, the season's not over after one game. It's a long season, but Estelle, here's what I'll say. Going into the year, I had hope for the offensive line. I have less hope now. That's it. I didn't go into the year knowing that the offensive line was going to be very good. I went into the year hopeful that they were going to be approaching league average, close to league average, not even league average, close to league average, top 20, top 18 maybe. But that was predicated on Evan Neal. We saw what we saw from Evan Neal tonight, and hopefully he gets a lot better, man, but did not look good tonight. But I'm not giving up on it. They're young. We'll see. It's a long season, but am I a little bit less confident after tonight? Yeah, a little bit. Stefan says, Cowboys fan here, respect to you. I'm going to bounce, but I really think you guys will bounce back. You guys are improved from last year, and I think our next meeting will be better. Well, it can't be worse, Stefan. It can't be worse. Well, I shouldn't say that because then what will happen is you'll beat us 47-0. But I can't imagine it being worse. But no, I appreciate you for being here. Thank you for the kind words, and congratulations on the win tonight. Did Neal play right tackle in college? He did, but he played it not. I think he played it in his freshman year, and then he played left tackle, I think, for the next 2 years. So it's been like 3. Last year was the first time he played right tackle in 3 years. It could. I guess it could be worse, bro. How many unblocked sacks does DJ have to go through for people to stop blaming him? It was bad tonight, man. One game, everything snowballed. Hard to play offense with 5 guys in the backfield every snap. That's the facts. And BB13, I like BB13. He's in my streams all the time, but he's a Cowboys fan. He comes at me sometimes. Even he is basically, I mean, without saying it, is basically saying you can't really blame this game too much on Daniel Jones. It's hard to play offense when there are 5 defenders in the backfield every time you drop back to pass. It's not an excuse. That's a fact. You know, people will come at me and say, "Oh, you're making excuses. You're making excuses." It's not excuses. It's a fact. It's hard to play the quarterback position when there's 5 guys in the backfield every time you drop back to throw. Dominic says, not a fun score to wake up to. But I know it's week 1, but I have kids. Yeah, man, it was tough. And Spencer, thank you very much for the dollar donation. Nick Station says, I think it's fair to say Joe didn't hit on the 2 top 10 picks. I don't think that's fair to say yet. I think it's fair to start to question it, especially with Neil, for sure. I haven't closed the door on it yet, though. But I think it's fair to question it with Neil specifically. Kayvon definitely showed glimpses last year of being a really good player. He needs to put it together more, and hopefully he does. I think it's fair to question it. I don't think it's fair to conclusively say it yet. For me, at least, in my opinion. Who are some O-linemen we could? I mean, I could look, I could scan, I could tell you some names. Like people brought up Justin Pugh. To me, we got what we got this year. The O-line's about continuity. It's about growing together. And we've drafted young guys. We've got who we've got. You're not going to bring in a guy off the street and it's going to magically make this offensive line better mid-season. It's not going to happen, at least in my opinion. So we got who we got this year, and we'll see what happens. Next year, we will make the necessary adjustments, hopefully, to continue to improve the offensive line. We'll see what Evan Neal does this year and JMS and everything else. But I don't see some knight in shining armor that's going to come in this year and make this offensive line great. Durag Davis has been a Giants fan since I was 11. Never felt like this after an L. Maybe you must have not endured the Miracle at the Meadowlands Part 2. Oh, yeah, you said 2011. So that was worse. I don't know. Maybe some people in the chat could remind me of some regular season losses that may have been tougher than this one. Because obviously the first one that pops in my head is the Miracle at the Meadowlands 2 with Deshaun Jackson. I'm trying to think of there were definitely some tough ones in the Eli years, for sure. There were definitely some tough ones. The Titans loss. Remember the Titans loss when we played Vince Young? And I think it was Matthias Kiwanuka had Vince Young wrapped up, and he thought that he heard a whistle, and there was no whistle, and he let go of the quarterback. And I think we gave up a huge lead in that game. That's one that sticks up in my head, at the top of my noggin. That was a tough one. But this is a tough one, man. This is a tough one. This is up there. Oh, yeah, I was thinking regular season games. Playoff games are on another level, but of course the 49ers game. I mean, that's what fans do, Nick Yak. I can't. How can you really blame Giants fans? I mean, you may disagree. I'm assuming you're a Cowboys fan. I don't know that. Maybe you're not. Maybe you're a Jets fan. I don't know. But can you blame Giants fans for being hopeful and thinking they have a decent to solid chance to win week 1? We made the playoffs last year. We won a playoff game. We had a lot of improvements. Was it naive? Obviously. It looks that way now. Well, I don't know. Well, if you were, I think most Giant fans should have been hopeful that this would have been at least a competitive game going into tonight, that there would be signs of improvement. I don't think it was crazy to think that going in. Obviously, it looks crazy now. Danny says, hey, Chris, sorry about your loss. It was really embarrassing. It was tough, man. It was tough. Luke says, I still think we are a very good team. It just hurts. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I'm not giving up on the team. We still got Brian Daboll. I still think he's a really good head coach. And I do think there's talent here, but it did not show tonight. Oh, yeah, of course. That's why it hurts. Of course, that's why it hurts. People should be pissed at Daboll for risking so much. I didn't get that. And we talked about that earlier in the stream, man. And Mike says, problem is there is no O-line talent. Listen, if the O-line plays like that, we're dead. We're dead. If Neal plays like that, we're dead. If the guards play like that, yeah, we're dead. That has to get better. And hopefully it does. I mean, I'm by no means am I comparing it, but we've seen it. We've seen teams get better over the course of the year. You look at 2007. First 2 games, we gave up 80 points, and then the defense got better. I'm not projecting that. But do I think this offensive line could get better from within the season? Yes. But am I more doubtful after this? Of course. How could you not be? I would have taken him out at the 8-minute mark, Big Blue Power Hour. I would have taken him out at, I think it was the 8 or 9-minute mark. That's where I started to scream on stream. That's where I was like, what are we doing? When I saw the damp jersey for Daniel Jones, I see everybody else on the bench. I see the backup lineman. That's where I would have taken him out. I think it was like the 8 or 9-minute mark of the fourth quarter. Joe says, sad start to the season. Line couldn't pick up stunts, ran into a Cowboys buzzsaw, and had a bad night. This team will bounce back. If you're a real Giants fan, hang tough and bleed blue for life. Let's go. Hey, Joe, man. Love you for saying that, man. I love fans like you guys, man. So, and deep down, I think fans that call fans like you and me delusional love us too. They just don't want to admit it because they don't want to get hurt like we do. But hey, man, I'm never going to stop believing in my team. I'm going to try to be somewhat reasonable in my expectations, but I am not ashamed at all that I went into this game thinking we could compete and potentially beat the Dallas Cowboys. I'm not ashamed at all. We got our asses kicked, but I let's see. If they can't beat the Cardinals, then they will be in trouble. I mean, yeah. If the Cardinals are trying to lose football games, so if you lose to them, you're probably not going to do very well. But guys, I do have to work tomorrow. I got to be up at like 7. So, I am going to call it a stream. I just wanted to go live for about an hour. Talk it out with you guys. I know you guys are, a lot of people probably still driving home from the game. So, they're tuning in, listening. I'm sorry you guys had to go through that. That was tough. Tough loss tonight, but I wanted to come on and talk about it with you guys, talk it out. Yeah. Definitely be doing some content throughout the week. I'll continue to do the show with JD. Of course, Bad Dog will be on the channel this week with our show. Be live for the Giants Cardinals game. And of course, we got to try to bounce back. That's what it comes down to. We got to try to bounce back. But, we'll see. Hopefully that's what it is, man. Chalk it up to hopefully, that this was just a bad day at the office. And this team is going to be much better going forward. We're going to find out really soon. But it's one game. It's a long season. We got 16 more games to go. We'll see how we perform against the Cardinals. I'm not going to be I'm down in the dumps tonight, but I'm going to pick myself up. And 2 or 3 days, we'll get ready for the Cardinals. I mean, that's all you could do. You got to leave it in the past and move forward. And hopefully we could beat Arizona. But guys, be good. Let's go Giants.